It felt like MVP Hot 6 were almost playing like they had track already in some of those situations where we saw like the Clockwork suicide for the attempted Crystal Maiden player. Like that kind of trade-off may be worth it if they have a track, you know. And I think we had another trade-off at one point in time, Ember Spirit for somebody. It was just like these trade-offs can be worth something if they have track available. But Jarix has just taken so much time to get to level 6. 16 minutes in and he just now hits it.
Yeah, I think VP should actually go for a smoke and then go for either Roshan or just look to pick off and go for that top tier 2 tower. Like those are probably the smartest options. If you feel really comfortable right now, going for the Roshan is perfectly fine, considering the type of lead that you have. But it does look like they want to get into that top fight because they know Forev isn't going to be there. And this is just a dangerous maneuver by MVP Hot 6. There's only potential for death here because that top tier 1 tower has pretty much full HP. Like you're committing really heavily for this. And
yeah,
if you don't win this fight,
no matter where VP are, they are going to be able to rotate in time before this tower dies, just because it's full HP. So MVP Hot 6, if they stick around, it's going to be a very clear misplay. They do get the glimpse back, but they've caught Jarix. At the same time, Lil is now trapped in with Sunby. He's not going to be able to get off that ultimate. Song of Siren unable to go off. DK Phobos hoping to be able to catch Jarix here. Echo Slam gets laid out, and he does manage to get him. Silence as well as a kinetic field blocks out the rest of Virtus Pro from pursuing. Now they're going to be able to come back for Rev. Goes for more kills, trying to check out DK Phobos. A little bit more burn damage. He does manage to get it. There goes the Crystal Maiden as well. Illidan next target up. And boy, MVP Hot 6 may have just won this fight, but never mind. MP, he gets taken out by the Lina, and God is ready to go for more. Forev easily cleaned up. Sunby, the last target, is going to have to TP away. God, just playing around those cogs.
he doesn't even care. He's like,
No,
whatever.
He really doesn't.
And that wasn't a bad trade at all for MVP Hot 6. They actually got a few kills there on a few core heroes. They slowed down the Bloodstone progression of the Lina, who's instantly alive, but they don't manage to grab the Tier 1 top, and I think that was the greater bounty for them because they need to open up map control. They've taken the Tier 1 tower mid, which is good, but if you can get that Tier 1 tower top as well, it makes it really hard for VP to rotate if they're farming the jungle. So I think if you're VP, you're a little bit nervous about what just happened, but still in firm control. I think going for the Roshan, once you get probably... I guess they don't even need the medallion. It looks like Lil's just going to go for the mech for the team fight potential that it provides, but I think going for the Roshan is the better play here. Maybe even smoking and invading the jungle of MVP Hot 6 and just establishing dominance, but smoking is definitely the play. Like, regardless of what you go for here, you go for the smoke.
Yeah, you don't want to give MVP Hot 6 further opportunities to make the comeback, as they are going to run into Sunbeam. Free pickoff here, not much that Sunbeam can do, and they get back the 8 Bloodstone charges for Lina. Now the question is, what do they do with that kill? Are they actually going to be able to go back and take Roshan for themselves with that hero down?
I think they should, because they know that even if MVP Hot 6 are aware that they're taking the Roshan, they're not going to be able to get there in time. Like, they've lost their Tier 1 tower mid, they've lost their Tier 1 tower at bottom, and so they should spot them coming in. And MVP Hot 6, I think they have a smoke on Jarix, if I remember correctly, but committing that is really unlikely. Like, you getting that kill is very unlikely. The better thing to do is pressure this top tower so you get some sort of trade. Like, farming the jungle is not enough here.
How's Forev doing? Okay, so he's got Battle Fury coming in here right now. In fact, he can buy it up. They're going to take this Tier 1 tower, which will bring MP pretty close to his BKB, which is a significant fighting item. I don't think that... Yeah, it's just the problem is, like, these supports don't really have any progression. There's no item that a Bounty Hunter or a Disruptor really picks up that's going to change the game in the first 30 minutes. Right, so it's entirely on the Queen of Pain and the Ember Spirit. Even Clockwork doesn't really change much. He gets levels and stuff, but Force Staff, Aghanims, those sort of items are nice and they're good utility, but I don't think they really change your power too much.
Forev surprisingly has a Battle Fury, so he's done a good job of not getting picked off too much. And G right now has got quite a bit of farm, and MP going for this BKB. The weird thing is, I think it's both the right option and the wrong one at the same time. You needed to be able to survive the Earthshaker and the Crystal Maiden, and pre-Lina Aghanim Scepter, it's probably really good. But VP have a lot of ways to deal with it. Like, their lineup is so complete and balanced, because the Ensnare does go through the BKB. You can just Ensnare Sleep, and then MP stuck in a situation where he has to 1v5.
Yeah. And there's also the initiation factor of the Earthshaker, like just jumping on the Queen of Pain and immediately Echo Slamming, not giving him the opportunity to pop the BKB. Sunby, he's going to be caught here. God, oh no, he missed the hook shot. He tried to get away. TP out, and nope, Song of Siren will stop him. Just a real quick half-second stun there from our Naga. MVP Hot 6. I mean, at least they know VP are 5-manning. This will give them the opportunity to quickly split push both top and bottom because, as you said earlier, VP, if they're going to get a kill, they're usually going to try and get an objective immediately after.
Yeah, and VP are so smart about this right now because they're just making sure that there's no situation where Jarex can get in there to get as many track kills, because that's what you want as a bounty hunter in a situation like this. You want to get a 5-man track and just hope.
Disruptor pops the ultimate, will be able to catch FNG. Of course, his life is forfeit, but maybe he can bring FNG low enough for Rev to kill him, but not even that's the case. FNG, he's got Tranquil Boots, wands. In fact, he's got a lot of magic wand charges. It's not even close. God has taken a lot of damage. Of course, he does have his Aegis, as well as the creeps that he's killing. So he will survive to be able to get back. They take that tier 2 tower. Jarex now is in this really awkward position where he could easily get caught out here. DK Phobos blinks forward trying to catch him. They actually didn't bring any counter vision with them, so Jarex is fine. He was just trying to pull the creep wave from mid away to stop them from being able to take that tier 2 tower, but Virtus.pro are far enough ahead that he can easily tank a tier 2 for a while.
I think the gem, yeah, they actually recovered the gem on MVP Hot 6, and he's going to use it to deward, which is really smart. And then I think he just ditches it again. Like, giving it up, especially when you have a teammate that's a bounty hunter, he's your main way of getting back into the game. Like, track is such a good resource in games like this. It's probably the best option that they can hope for right now. And once G loses his Aegis, maybe you even look for a fight if you're MVP Hot 6. And the problem, though, is G just got his BKB, and so MVP Hot 6 doesn't have the best physical damage dealing lineup. You've got the Sonic Wave that can pierce, but that's pretty much it. And they do want to make use of this Aegis while they still have it, and it's going to be mid.
Yeah, 3-man smoke will catch Jarex. He already had the counter ward placed preemptively there anyways, so quite an easy pick off. Now with the tier 2 tower actually already being threatened in the top lane, they should be able to take that one. It's just a simple rinse and repeat every single time. VP, find an opening, get a kill, take a tower.
Yeah, especially with that tower being low at top. Going for that smoke is a pretty easy play. If you catch somebody, great. If you don't, you're still in a position where MVP Hot 6 have 0 time to respond. So going for these safe tier 2 towers is just a huge boon to their lead right now. I mean, they're just completely dominating in both experience and network.
MP can't even push out that bottom tier 1. DK Phobos quick to be able to defend. In fact, he's almost completed a Force Staff now. So MVP's game seems to be entirely on playing defense around an Ember Spirit, turtling this one out until he gets really big. So VP, the game is utterly theirs, like control-wise. They can choose when to push uphill. They know MVP Hot 6 really aren't going to be poking out too often against them. They just have to make sure that when they do go uphill, they don't drop the fight too heavily. Oh, jeez, Sunbeam almost just dies straight up to Laguna Blade. He'll be found eventually here, as the couple of last right clicks will come out from Illidan. Nothing out from MVP 6 to stop him.
Yeah, you have to just give him up at that point, but he is racking up a decent amount of Bloodstone charges now. He's got 2 above what he should be at, and they've got so much control of this game. The good news for MVP Hot 6, though, is they do still have track, and MP doesn't have too many counters on the side of VP. Like, if he's really smart about his positioning, he can stay alive and just poke at them repeatedly with the Battle Fury, and there's nobody on VP that want to overcommit for him. Like, if you run your Bloodseeker, maybe, but your Lina can't really follow up because it's just dangerous for her. She doesn't really have the best armor. You've got a Crystal Maiden as a support, and the Naga Siren is probably not going to be a position where he's going to be able to get the net off, but at top, MP has to pop his BKB for this.
Yeah, and he's running himself away. Of course, he's got a TP. It looks like he's just trying to bait Illidan a little bit with Jarex coming in from the side, but Illidan's way too tanky. He's got 1,700 HP. So now Virtus.pro will just go for the last remaining Tier 2 tower. God's got a Blade Mail, SNY, now a BKB. What's his next item?
An Abyssal Blade isn't bad here. Getting some sort of HP item also isn't terrible. It looks like...
So he could go... Maybe if they want to sit back, they could go for even like a Scotty.
Assault is pretty good too.
Yeah.
Pretty much anything that can go high ground, but it looks like Scotty's going to be the build. Just wants more stats. This is the smart play from VP. If you don't have a Roshan to go for, why not just go for the tier 2s? MVP have clearly demonstrated that they don't want to defend it because they don't think they can, which is the right play for MVP. So both teams are doing as expected. The real question is whether or not MVP is comfortable giving up the Roshan, but I think they have to be. There's just too much blind vision between Roshan and them so that if they run into VP when they smoke gank, when VP try to secure the Roshan, the game could just end. So the better thing is probably just rely on the defensive capabilities of Track and the Battle Fury Ember Spirit. To just defend infinitely and hope that VP overextend. Like, that's what you're hoping for. It has to be a mistake by VP at this point.
Is Ember Spirit going for a second Battle Fury, or is this Linken's versus the Laguna Blade?
I think that you have to kind of go all in.
Yeah.
And just go for the second Battle Fury.
Okay, in which case, I'm glad you answered that. Why a second Battle Fury as opposed to a Crystallis Daedalus build?
Maybe it is a Linken's. It might be, actually. Because if he just gets one shot by the Lina, it probably doesn't even matter.
Yeah.
And there isn't the best single target on the side of VP. Like, maybe she can blow it with the Yule Scepter, but I almost feel as if MP or Forev has to continue to go late game items and just damage dealing items rather than just going for defensive stuff.
It's kind of like when I see a team that's really far behind and I make the call for Divine Rapier, just because I'm like, you have to go all in. Sunby is going to try and catch out Illidan here. He immediately eats through the cogs. Very good play from Illidan, and he's so fast thanks to Fiery Soul that he will be able to stay one step ahead of these heroes despite the Track extra movement speed. The rest of VP here to defend him, so MVP Hot 6 quick to retreat.
That's not a bad move for them to go for, though. That's probably the main kill that they could have actually made happen. So you still have to get somewhat aggressive and punish when one hero just decides to push out by himself, right? You can't just let VP establish that much control where one hero can pretty much scare 5 heroes into being inside the base. But I think Forev should stay for buyback more than anything, especially if he anticipates VP going for it. But VP is probably just waiting at the next Roshan. Absolutely securing the win against a Bounty Hunter is probably the smarter move here.
That Roshan will be up in about 2.5 minutes here. So Virtus Pro going to have to wait a while longer till late Roshan, but that's fine. Still need to